what do I do? I mean, do I change my name to the Coat Closet from the Hat House? I don't know. Hey guys, I'm Steven.
I'm Mary.
I promised we were going to do a better job introducing ourselves.
Yeah, we've been selling on eBay for a little over 5 years. We've sold around 38,000 items, the majority of those being hats, but that may change.
Yeah. Way to build it up, Mary. Good job. We did get some jackets in, and it's kind of made us question a little bit if that's what we want to do. But let's get to what's new in the Hat House first, and then we'll get back to this. All right, guys, let's take a look at my favorite hats that came into the Hat House this past week. I've been so busy cleaning stuff up, finally getting to making this. I will tell you, I'm not putting them on eBay though. I'm putting them on a different site. I can't really tell you where right now. I want to see how it goes because I know there will be a lot of questions about it. And I just want to see how it goes. Give it a few days. They won't actually launch until April 11th, available for sale. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time. So it may be a week or two before I update you on this, but it will be worth it. If this works out, it's going to be a great deal for hat sellers out there. It's going to be really awesome. But let's look at those hats that I'm going to put up there and I'm going to go put in this launch of this new hat. First up, STP hat. This one is kind of multi-purpose. It can go as like a 90s alternative band. A lot of Stone Temple Pilots fans end up picking this up. And then also it's just a great kind of vintage NASCAR could be. It's just got so many different customers that will pick this up. I think I'm going to price it around 30 to 35 price range right now. And I think that's pretty fair, pretty reasonable. Next up, at first glance, this is the Holy Grail, but it is a Chicago Bulls script. This is kind of a stadium giveaway by the Chicago Tribune. It was a snapback, nice little corduroy hat, and nice script on it. Since it's kind of a knockoff of the Sports Specialty script, I'm just going to come in around $30 to $35 for this one. And I think a Bulls fan would still pick it up. Pretty good condition still. Next up, awesome three-stripe trucker, maybe one of the best ones I've had in a while. Ford Mustang GT with the Mustang on the front, three-stripe, red, white, and blue. The three-stripe market has come down quite a bit, so you don't quite get enough. Back in the day, this might be a $100 hat or more. But this one I'm going to come in around $35 to $40 on this three-stripe trucker. It is a really great collectible one. It is on the Youngin tag and the Youngin snap, and really great condition. Next up, really nice USA basketball. Had America in the big embroidered right here, and then it was wool, and it's on this Pro Player, nice vintage brand right here. Really great condition. Had the USA basketball hit big on the back too. Really cool hat right here. I think it'll be around $35 to $45 on this one. Next up, we've got the Skull Painter hat. Painter hats kind of go in and out. The tobacco does pretty well. I'm going to be around $25 on this Skull Painter hat. It was in pretty good condition. Super clean on the inside, almost dead stock. Just had a little bit of shelf cleaning that needs to be done, but really cool tobacco hat. Next up, vintage Seattle Supersonic starter hat. This one was flex fit. So it's probably not as expensive as some. So I'll probably be in the 35 to 40 price range on it. It's also kind of small, 6 5/8 to 7 1/8, but still really cool. Seattle Supersonics always does really well, and starter is awesome too. Next up, really cool. I tell you to look out for Hawaii stuff all the time. This Hawaii, I call it a half cord. It's got the mesh on the back, the cord on the front. Hawaii with the rainbow. Going to be around $30 to $35 on this hat as well. Really cool. Mine was super clean. Even had the rope, which we know is in style. Then I got a Mickey hat. I really wanted to put up a bunch of good vintage hats in all different price ranges to kind of launch this site. And I went with this Mickey hat. It just had the Mickey Mouse embroidered on the front. Is this Is this the musical
Fantasia.
Fantasia?
Fantasia.
Is this Fantasia, Mickey? Should I put that in the title? I'm not a Disney buff, guys. So I don't always know. I think it's Fantasia.
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask more than $20, but maybe somebody will get a great deal. I think I put $20 on this one. Nice vintage Mickey Mouse hat. And then I had a Dallas Cowboys Sports Specialties script. The only downfall to this one was it was youth size, like 6 3/4. So I'm going to come in around $30 on it. It is wool, but it is fitted. Dallas Cowboys Sports Specialties script, super clean on the inside. Still pretty crispy. A great hat, just terrible size. And then last up, something I wouldn't put on eBay anyways. We got a Supreme hat, but pretty sure this is a bootleg Supreme. I can just tell. You can kind of see it's kind of screen printed on the front right here. The embroidery on the back is not that great. The tag is kind of hidden on the inside here. That's say Made in USA Supreme. But I am fairly confident this is a bootleg Supreme, so I will label it as such. I'm going to ask like $25 to $30 on it. Still pretty cool hat with the flowers all over. So either way, it would be a $15 to $20 hat, even if it wasn't Supreme, I would think. But the Supreme maybe adds $5 being a bootleg. All right, last thing on what's new in the hat house. I did get a great deal on some of these camel dad hats. These are like one of the best selling dad hats of all time. And it is new old stock, just a strap back camel hat. I'm gonna put some of these in our store down below. If you wanna check them out, you can buy one if you want. I'm gonna put them, they're on eBay, like $20 plus shipping is what they sell for. I'm gonna put a special for you guys, $10 plus shipping on these. So check these out. Really good deal. I only got a few of them. I might be able to get some more if they do well. But we'll see if you guys want to pick one of these nice vintage hats up. They're pretty cool, pretty desirable. They sell all the time for $20. And since I got such a good deal, I thought I'd pass it on to you guys. All right, guys, I'm going to put those on that site as well. I won't go over all of them. Those were my favorite ones out of that bunch. I hope I have some really exciting news in a couple weeks to tell you about it. I want to know more about it before I even recommend it or say anything more about it. But I did want to show you kind of the selection that I was going to put up there, because there are some hats that should sell pretty quick and are pretty desirable. So we'll see how it goes. Let's get to what's sold. You guys probably won't notice, but shipping out again on a Sunday night. Still been pretty busy. Sales are still doing pretty good. They did slow down a little bit over this Easter weekend. I think a lot of people aren't really shopping on the eBay during Easter weekend, but let's get to what's sold. All right, up first, a nice Nike running hat. These are going to start selling even better as it keeps warming up. This was a Tailwind, went out for $27. Nice 5-panel. Tailwinds always do really awesome. Keep a lookout for this version of Nike. Nice running hat. Next up, do y'all remember this one? This Arctic Cat Team Racing, super cool nylon rope. I had it priced for $100. Somebody offered me $50 and I took it. It was super cool. I priced it up because I didn't know there was no real market for this hat out there. So I priced it up, kind of testing to see where it would go for. And then I was happy with $50. This is a really cool hat though. Then we had a nice Nike lightweight. I'm pretty sure I got this for $9.99 at TJ Maxx. Went out for $20, new with the tags. Really nice lightweight Nike hat. Then next up, really disappointed in this sale. Only went out for like $15. I delisted and relisted this one several times. It was a vintage Nike hat. Still had the tag on it. It was super cool, I thought. It was a large, extra large, flex fit. Just took it was basically dead stock. Took well over a year to sell. And finally sold for $15. So I guess the old Nike N logo is just not in right now. Next up, LA Dodgers, MLB still doing hot. 7 5/8 went for $20. Really good condition, pretty clean. Yeah, great hat. And another MLB hat going out. Colorado Rockies, size 7 1/8. Still went out for $17 on this one. Still pretty good shape. Still had pretty good firmness to the bill. MLB still going strong. Next up, not a lot of higher dollar sales going out today, but this K-Boo hat was pretty cool. It went out for $19. Had the daisies all over. Never seen one like this before, but really nice sale here, 19 bucks on the KAABOO hat. Next up, a nice American Needle hat right here. Went out for $18 on this one, sold super quick. Maybe this is one I could have got a little bit more for. Had the Giants hit on the back as well. It was a repeat buyer, so I went ahead and made them a deal and cut a deal at around 18 bucks. Next up was a polo golf hat. This went out for $30. It was vintage, had the nice polo. It would have been in better shape, probably been closer to like $50 or $60 hat, but it had a little bit of wear on it. It was a little discolored, but still really cool vintage polo hat right here. If you get these in good condition, make sure you look up the crest every time. And they went out together. The two Far Rock 22 went out for $35 a piece. I took a combined bundle kind of order for $70 for these two. I'll show you the brand up close again, so you can make sure and keep an eye out for it. It's called 22. They make really cool streetwear hats. This one had Far Rock, like Queens, New York, and then had all sorts of embroidery around it. The other one's pretty much the same way. It just had the white script on it, the white tail sweep. So these two are really cool hats. Glad to get $70 for these two combined. Next up was a really nice Nike Featherlight. It went out for $17, and these go for a little more when they're in cool colors and good condition. The regular black and white ones are usually $10 to $12, but this Featherlight went out for $17, so a little bit more when you have the cool colors. Next up was the Puma P hat. It did sell really fast, which was on our best hats coming to the hat house. I went ahead and took $15 on it. I think I really wanted it to go around 20, but I went for the quick sale. 15 bucks on this one. Really cool Puma with the palm tree on it. And sometimes you'll be surprised. TaylorMade hat went for $17. Women's TaylorMade. It was basically brand new. Still had the cardboard in it. $17. I'm glad anytime I can get a women's hat for over 15 bucks, it is a win in my book. And I had another Seattle Pilots, went out for $28. Really nice sale on this one. It was it was the medium large version. I think I have one of these left, and then I will almost be done with them. But they have done awesome. It was an awesome find, Seattle Pilots. And then $26 on the Boston Red Sox with the American flag. This was kind of the salute to service. Green always does awesome. 27, Mary?
26.
$26. Still really good sale. Really awesome hat right here. And then next up, this Atlanta Braves hat. The little A usually does better, especially on this American Needle. $20 on this one. Still had the stickers on it, so it's pretty much dead stock as well. But the little A usually does really well. And I sold the Ron John hat. It went out for $20. Nice vintage Ron John. One of a kind. Surf shop. Really cool vintage hat right here. 20 bucks. 5-panel. Great deal. And the Trapper hats are still selling on spring break. $27 for this one. Did it have a brand? Oh, it was down here. You usually don't even see them down here. It's a vintage Columbia Trapper hat. Nice Sherpa lined, and really cool hat right here. Trapper hat still selling. All right, next up, my favorite hat to sell is the polo hat. This one had the leather strap back. Went out for $26. International sale on this one. I wish I had 1 million of these. I'd sell them all day long, but this one, glad to get this sale. Next up, pretty good sale right here, and a brand of fitted hat that you definitely want to be on the lookout for. This is a Roman Pro. Had the kind of retro White Sox logo on it, which also helped. This is the Roman Pro tag, and a lot of times they have this leather sweatband in them. Definitely, it's a wool hat. Doesn't say wool, but it's a wool hat. 7 1/4. You can tell the newer ones, though. They have this Cooperstown collection a lot of times in here. You can get vintage Roman Pro as well. I don't think this one was vintage, kind of newer. Still cool retro logo on it. Next up, nice little vintage Seattle Mariners hat right here. It's a twill. It was by, on the other side. It was by Logo 7. These kind of vary between, mine wasn't in the greatest shape because it had some denting. They can go between $15 to $30, just depending on how good of a shape yours is in. I took $16 for mine. Next up was this Detroit Tigers. It went out for $22. It was a pretty good size, 7 3/8. You just never know when the buyer is trying to find their exact size, and they will pay up a little bit for it. The new era hat market is just crazy sometimes, and sometimes this one will go forever, and then you end up having to sell it for $10. And then sometimes somebody's looking for this exact one that they had, and they want to pay. They'll pay up $20 to $25. It's just crazy sometimes on how long you sit on them, but or how fast they sell and for what price. And going out on Mercari, $25 on this new era fitted. It was brand new. It was one of the retail arbitrage that we had. No fees, $25. So Mercari's doing okay. I think I wish I could say it's a sale a day. We've been putting more stuff on there gradually. It's been about a sale every other day. In the past, we'd usually have a sale or probably a couple of sales a day. But we're going to keep putting items on there and seeing how it's going. But $25, no fees. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, guys, first up, hat change. Got a new hat. I sourced it off of Whatnot. I don't think that I'm going to sell it, at least quite yet, because I really like it. I'm not even a fan of the Minnesota North Stars, but it fit perfectly. When I put it on, I couldn't hardly take it back off. And I just really like this hat. Even though it's pretty distressed, I'm going to roll with it for a while. First sale, though, it pays to have two of the same item in your store, are very similar. We got two Baby Yodas going out for $17 with shipping. Next up, we got a Clemson with swoosh on it. These hats do a little bit better. Like I said, this one went out for like $16. Sometimes you can get over 20 for these, but kind of desirable with the swoosh right here. All right, next up, one of my last retail arbitrage from Fanatics. This one went out for $15. I paid $12 for it, so I probably broke even on this one. Made some on the other ones, but this one just wasn't as desirable, and it was still in stock on the website too. So I don't think, for some reason, people didn't really like this Spell Out Sharks. Next up is a hat brand I don't get to talk about very often, but it is pretty desirable, and it's Pro Standard. They make some really cool hats. This one was Philadelphia Phillies, had a side embroidery of World Series on it. It was a snapback as well, with the pink undervisor. Really cool hat right here. Pro Standard can do pretty well, so keep a lookout for them, especially if they're in good condition. Next up was a Peter Millar hat. I don't run into too many Peter Millar hats. I will tell you that this one does sell better at $17. It is kind of the polyester, kind of dry fit almost material with the good strap on the back. Just beware of the other ones out there that are cotton and have kind of a cheap strap back on them. They do not do as well, but this one did okay at $17. Next up, I'm really disappointed this one took forever to sell. My Big Johnson hat took almost a year to sell, and I thought that it would do really well. It was pretty cool, basically dead stock condition, but I don't know. I guess it just wasn't as desirable as I thought it might be. It only went out for $9. I had to delist and relist it and marked it down, and it finally sold. What is doing really well is nice new eras, especially this one was still pretty darn crispy. It was size 7.5, so awesome size, kind of Y2K version of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Actually have two purple ones going out today, so be on the lookout for the purple ones in this logo. I think that's what the Diamondbacks are looking for. And another great new era. This was Boston Red Sox, of course, kind of the same Y2K. This one was size 7.25. This one went out for $38. $38 on this hat. Was really great condition. Had a cool 2004 World Series side patch on it. Next up, this Arizona Diamondbacks went out for $20. And you can just kind of see it just wasn't in as good a condition. Kind of had the creases in it, but the older logo had an American flag hit on the side. Y2K, 7 3/8. Pretty nice hat still for $20. As you can see, I got some great new era fitteds in. This Red Bull went for $25. I priced it for around, I need to shape it up a little bit before I send it out. I priced it for around $35. There weren't any on the market. And it was the older version, 7.5, great size. So I took $25 on this one. Pretty good sale. The older Red Bull stuff can do pretty well. The new hats are pretty much junk. But if you find the new era ones, and the older ones, they're pretty good. Next up, nice Nike golf visor. Went out for $17. It was in like new condition. It was on this newer Nike golf tag. Pretty good deal. I'm happy to sell a visor for 17 bucks. It was like new though. Next up was a pretty cool Mets bucket hat. Went out for $15. Had this rope around it. Sold super quick. Probably could have held out for a little more since it was so cool, but I would think it would be between 15 and 20. So I just took 15. Next up, this Patagonia went for 17. I had it listed forever. Took it down to the store or the booth and tried to sell it there. No takers, and then relisted it on eBay a few days ago. Ended up getting $17 for it. It was pretty cool. Kind of had this PVC kind of patch on it. A little bit different. 17 bucks. Next up, the Rare brand new 47 brand. And the way I do new stuff is if it's retail arbitrage and I know that I bought it brand new, then I will list it as new. But I happened to come across this Yankees hat brand new. If I pick stuff up at a thrift store or I get them in lots, I don't typically list that as new. I will put that as used because I don't know exactly where it came from. But I got $26 for this Yankees hat because I knew it was new and listed it as such. And another Nike visor. You can tell the golf stuff is heating up. This was in really great shape. Kind of had the bigger brim on it. Kind of almost the older style, but it was newer Nike golf. This one went out for 17 as well. Great sell right here. Next up, I'll show you this Oreo one because it went out for $15 and it just shows that the dad hat market is just hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes this would wait till $7 but I sold this Oreo one for $15 pretty quick. Happy with that sale. Next up, sometimes you get a special message from a customer. They said they lost their Bronx Bombers New York Yankees hat in a house fire that they had, and they were so glad to find this one and replace it. So really glad to get it back to them. And sometimes you just have that unique item that is not out there, and you're able to really help somebody out. Next up, two more hats you wouldn't think would sell for $17, but these both sold for $17. Nice FIFA soccer hat, women's FIFA soccer. It was even on the strap back, went for $17. And Alabama Crimson Tide, top of the world, had the mesh back on it, snapback. This went out for $17 as well. And then 17 is the magic number today because Teddy Fresh went out for $17 as well. Going international, Teddy Fresh is a YouTuber. I don't know. Maybe one day he'll see my videos and see how many Teddy Fresh hats I sell. Maybe he'll hit me up and give me a shout out, but I won't hold my breath. You know, I have no idea what kind of content Teddy Fresh does, so if he does something crazy, I don't know. Okay, guys, like we said, one of the suppliers that I got hats from also had some jackets that they're going to be able to start supplying us with some of them. So it's kind of made me question how hard we want to go on hats. And I know it's getting ready to turn warmer, so these jackets probably aren't going to sell the best. But you guys know as well as I do, the selling price on jackets and coats, if you get decent brands, can be a lot better.
We had a couple of the cool brands, which, you know, is really nice. We also had North Face.
Yeah, they're going to need some cleaning. Definitely need some cleaning. Probably not as good as condition like when we get them at Goodwill.
Right.
It's going to need a little more cleaning. But yeah, some like North Face vests.
Some Patagonia. I know there was Patagonia.
Yeah, we'll get to the Patagonia. This one was BMW. Some pretty cool stuff in jackets here. So
Carhartt.
Yeah, Carhartt fleece, which is really cool. This is Ducks Unlimited. Pretty mid, but still pretty cool style. Okay. And there's one of the cool pullovers. This one, I'd never seen this brand before. Maybe you guys know better. I'm sure I'll figure it out. Kiltech. It feels really well made. Feels like a really nice jacket. But there is a lot of that type of stuff in here. And I will tell you that what brand was this one? Oh, another cool. Yeah, there was a lot of this type of stuff in this box. And Mary's going to continue to pull some of it out. And I'll just let you know, I don't know. I don't know how we should proceed. If we should really go all in on this. I will tell you that we got them at pretty good prices. It's going to take some work cleaning these up, of course, with everything reselling. And what do I do? I mean, do I change my name to the Coat Closet from the Hat House? I don't know. Nice Nike jacket, but I think we'll just kind of incorporate this in a little bit into our store for now. Like I said, the sales won't be real awesome over the spring and summer, but some of them will sell if we price them well. But really excited to add some new things and get some good brands of other stuff. What do you think, Mary? What's your concerns about doing it?
Like you've already pointed out, I think it's just kind of the wrong time of the year to list a bunch of jackets and coats. But I mean, it's colder in parts of the United States all year, so who knows?
Yeah. How are you going to store it? How are we going to store all these coats?
That we don't know yet.
That is the question. So we got to think about the logistics of taking on something different in your business too, because we have to be able to store. This is, how many was in there? Like 30?
Yeah, something like that.
30 jackets, not a huge deal. 60 jackets, a bigger deal. 100 jackets, if I start getting this regularly, is a huge deal. Or 200 jackets in 2 months is a huge deal. So got to kind of think about how we're going to store it. If you guys have any great ideas on how to store jackets and coats, I think hanging them up would be the best, but I don't know if we have enough room, and I'll have to make something to start hanging them. Maybe I hang them from the ceiling here in the garage, but I don't know. Any great ideas out there? I'm not the jacket expert or the coat expert. Would really be appreciated. Just kind of wanted to give you another inside peek of what's going on here too. We are getting some different type of inventory now, and you may see a little bit different stuff in our store going forward, but I'm not giving up on hats. Definitely still in the hat game, and there's some really exciting things coming in the hat game too that I can't wait to share with you guys. All right, first up is a combined order. So they got some pretty cool vintage hats in here. We had a Notre Dame snapback. This was on, it was on the Notre Dame tag. It was fairly clean inside. Cool NASA hat right here. This one was almost in dead stock condition on the NASA. And they got this Monarchs hat. It was a little beat up, but it was a really cool vintage hat as well. The London Monarchs. So $32. A lot of these hats I've had for quite a while. I will tell you, when looking at vintage hats, you'll see a lot of Notre Dame out there. And Notre Dame usually just does not have the price because they were so good in the 90s that they made a lot of these hats. So the market out there on Notre Dame hats is pretty saturated. Just be aware of that whenever you're looking at vintage hats, maybe to flip. Just know that they're cool hats and they will sell, but the selling price just may not be as much on Notre Dame stuff. Next up, the Puma P hat sold. This was I only went for $15. I took the offer because I'm just moving hats. So I didn't make much, if anything, really on this. It is a really cool hat. They got a really good deal, but I think I paid $9.99 at Ross for it. And then ended up selling for $15. Next up, awesome sale right here. This one went out for $35. This was in great condition. I hope they really love this hat. It's kind of this felt material, probably from the 70s on this one, if I was trying to date this without a date. But it had kind of the leather sweatband. It was a flex fit style in the back. Didn't have a brand, but and even still had a name written inside. So it was a really cool hat. From the 70s, San Diego Padres, $35. They got an awesome piece, awesome vintage hat. Next up was this NBA Finals, and these are hard to find in good condition. This is about the best condition I've had it in because this is 1990, and it's kind of on this ripstop nylon, and the lettering on these were not put on very good, but still really cool Finals hat. The Finals hats can do really great. This one is just kind of, this one went for $20, but they're kind of hard to find in good condition. And feeling generous again, I'm giving out deals in my store, guys. It might be a good time to stop by and send out an offer on some really cool hats. I took $15 for this Nike hat. I should have waited for $20 to $25, but I took the offer. This was super clean, almost like brand new condition. Really great Nike Air hat. We had this kind of like a rubber PVC logo on it. They got a really cool hat here for $15. All right, and I bring this up because it's Carhartt, because I wish I had a bunch of Carhartt hats, but I don't have that many. They sell so quick. $12 on the kids youth Carhartt. It was basically new, unworn condition, but really good sale. Wish I had a ton of these. Next up, just put this in the, you never know when somebody's looking for that logo. $17 on this Monat. If you know what company that is, let me know. But it was in really good condition, and you just don't know when somebody's looking for that. Sometimes these hats end up going for like $8, and sometimes you can get 17 or 18 if somebody's looking for that logo. Next up, this one sold really quick. Maybe I underpriced it, but I don't think so. I think I was right about where it needed to be. $17 on this Arkansas Razorbacks. Had this big logo hog on it. It was by this Tailgating, not a great hat brand at all, and it was a strap back. That's why I came in at 17. The logo is really cool, but I think we were both about right on the price. Next up, this one went really fast, and it was, I went for $22. Loophole, do scopes, hunting stuff. Really nice big leather American flag patch with their brand spell out in it. Was branded by them too. A really nice camo hat right here, $22. They got an awesome hat. Next up, Philadelphia Phillies, MLB, doing great. This is a little bit older snapback version, so it went out for $22. Probably mid-2000s, 2005-ish, but you can get a little bit more on the good condition new eras if they're a little older. Next up, Patagonia, need to be on the lookout for 5-panel, kind of a running hat Patagonia. Went out for $32 on this one. It was in super clean condition as well, and had the strap back. And a really cool Patagonia hat right here, $32. And then last up, this was the last of the golf rope hats that I had. This one was in okay condition. It just kind of had this staining on the bill. So this one went out for $35. I got around $50 for the other ones, pretty quick. This was on the Texace. You want to look for this label, especially in golf stuff. Let you know that it's vintage. The vintage golf rope hats, doing awesome. This was Shoal Creek. All right, next up, $28 going international. These were on clearance on the MILB site. I got them, picked them up for $10, 7 3/8. Somebody messaged me about a week ago. He's like, dude, did you know those are $10? Well, they won't be forever, and not everybody's willing to ship them international. So why should I mark them for $10 if somebody is willing to pay for them or pay $28 to send it overseas? And I get people get upset sometimes when you're flipping items like that, but that's how it works. That company couldn't hold on to that inventory any longer. I can. I'm willing to ship it internationally, and I got the sell. All right, next up, I just want to point this one out because it was a super cool Tampa Bay Rays hat. Went out for $6, and sometimes they get that cheap. Just like same instance, I had to clearance them out. I had them too long, and sometimes I take a loss on something. But I will let you guys know not to source these if you're expecting big money, because this was size 7, and this size is just really tough to get rid of. It's a little bit bigger than a youth, and it's kind of small for men typically. And size 7 is just not the greatest size to be selling hats. And it was really cool. It had this awesome stitching. It was almost dead stock. It was really still crispy, but only got $6 for it. Next up, can count this as a pretty good sale for NBA for me. Los Angeles Lakers. It was cool. It had the NBA side hit. $16.50 on the Mitchell & Ness snapback. I'm happy anytime I get $15 or more on a Lakers or any NBA hat really by Mitchell & Ness.